Thank you for being here and traveling this journey of aliveness with me. I am recording this video during incredibly beautiful, feminine, receptive transit of Gene Key and Human Design Gate 2, which could be described in words and associations of allowing and receptivity. And Gene Key perspective gives us a really beautiful, delicious description of this transit and Gene Key as shadow of dislocation, which I really like because it makes it very physical. Dislocation that we can transform through the gift of orientation into the divine gift of oneness or unity. And also in traditional I Ching interpretation of this hexagram that is translated from Chinese language as a field, which I just love talking about the field specifically as a morphogenetic field. And if you don't know what morphogenetic field is, it's a field of potential that exists around us, that exists all around us, that exist around plants, around rocks. It's literally this field that makes us who we are. It's literally like our potential has already manifested itself out here in other energetic bodies that around us, and now it's literally let's say streamed into our physicality, and we are living out our potential. Also means that we are able to influence that potential. We are able to access that potential. It doesn't mean that it's just one-way street and that potential is stuck in time. That means that our body at this point might look like it's a very static and stable body, but actually when we tap into our morphogenetic field, that is where that quantum science that you might have been hearing a lot about recently is very applicable, because within that field of potentiality we are able to create really fast-paced changes. And the key to those changes, the most important thing, the key to those changes or transformations are our ability and our mastery of working with our emotions, of working with our feelings. This is when, specifically during this incredible eclipse season of Taurus and Scorpio, which I spoke in my previous video, and in my previous podcast. It's so important now to really work with our emotions and understand the power of our emotions. Evolutionary, what is happening to us, and I hope you are able to see this in your own life, we are becoming more emotionally defined and emotionally ruled beings. If before we have been mainly rational and very logical beings driven by minds, we are moving into reality where our mind will still have its validity, of course, but a lot of what we are creating and will be creating more will be coming from the integrity or disequilibrium of our emotional field. So it's like a next wave of our evolution where communication will not only be happening through our rational mind, but more through our emotions. And not only emotions that we speak through the language, but actually more through the emotions that we are experiencing, through the feelings that we are experiencing, and the senses that we are experiencing, the vibrations, let's say, that we are experiencing. And all of those, all of us that are diving into this world of exploration of what is happening with this current change, with this current evolution, probably almost like a translators of this divine language, or this language of emotion and feelings. And in my work of linguistics, and I love studying languages and see how language influencing our worldview and our mindset, it's really interesting to see how our own emotions as well code and program our mindsets. And with this specific transit of dislocation, it's so important to remember that our emotion has this very potent energy of dislocating us, or taking us out of the path of our essence, of our integrity. At the same time, through our wisdom, through our intelligence, more like emotional intelligence, we are able to transmute that dislocation, orient ourselves. Orientation, remember, that's the gift that helps us to move into the city of oneness. Through reorientation of our own emotional landscape, we're then able to move into the oneness, into the unity of our being, as well as into the unity of all that we are experiencing. Because what I'm finding in myself, and also in others who I work with or who I observe in my reality, that we tend to dislocate a certain emotion or dislocate certain mental pattern, and let that pattern dislocate the rest of our life. We let that kind of rule and sort of take us in the direction that is not constructive, into the direction that is not providing us with aliveness. And instead, just like traveling, just like going somewhere in a car or traveling somewhere in the mountains, we have path. We have a choice to take a different path. And this is literally how our mind works, through neuroscience, through neuroplasticity. We always can have ability to rearrange the patterns within our brain, within our physiology, within our neurology, in order to complement life, in order to co-create with aliveness, in order to create better, healthier, more expansive version of ourselves. And this is where I think it's so beautiful to be in the midst of this transformative time of eclipse season that we are undergoing currently right now in May of 2022. Tapping into the energy of Taurus, the energy of grounding, the energy of feeling the field that you are creating as a physical being, and allowing, receiving the waves of feelings and emotions from that other axis, through the opposite axis of Scorpio. And this is where we are moving as we coming closer to the end of this eclipse season. We're moving to the sign of Scorpio, where the moon will get to the sign of Scorpio later in the month of May, in the middle of May. This is where we can really experience the depth of our emotions, and really remembering, all right, I'm experiencing this deep emotion right now, this deep feeling of, let's say, fear or fear of failure. Will I allow it to dislocate me and take me out? Or will I be able to reorient myself and move myself into the field of unity and oneness, this greater oneness with this morphogenetic field, with this timeline. Another word for the field could be a timeline. One of the exercises that maybe could be helpful for you this week could be visualizing, imagining, hearing, feeling, sensing with your body. What does it mean? Or how does it feel? Or how does it look like to be the full version of your potential? The full version of this timeline where you are representing oneness of your being. As always, I love connecting with you on all social media platforms. And if you'd like to receive my monthly newsletters, please join my newsletter list. And I am looking forward to this updates and traveling journey of aliveness together with you.